I think the first thing to say is that tasting is tasting. The formal process is exactly the same at whatever level you do it. How formal it is really a question of degree. It depends what your aims are. But I think in terms of processes, then it's exactly the same. And again, depends on your skill and depends what you want to do. The criteria you use are a question of choice. What are you asking about? Are you asking about how good it is for what it says it is? Are you asking about how good it is in terms of value for money? Are you asking where it sits on the hierarchy level? All those sorts of things are criteria that you can choose to use or not, and that is a question of choice. Once again, completely different from whether you like it or not. But the point about tasting, I guess the really important point to make is that it's different from drinking. Tasting is a deliberate act of scrutiny, where you look at the wine, you examine it, you try and see what there is to see. One definition of tasting might be to maximize the number of sensations that you can get out of the wine. If you're an MW, for example, one talks about reading the wine and reading it with care and being able to see what there is to see. And that's different from just drinking it for pleasure, which is what we all do. But the one improves the other, and we know that from whether we're looking at gardens, whether we're looking at art, whether we're interested in music, spending a bit of time thinking about what you're seeing, listening to, tasting. You find you get more from it, and that's an important point from an amateur point of view, if you like.
Okay, and in the context of going through your book, having that background knowledge reinforces your ability to enjoy the wine, to analyse it, to taste it.
Yes, I mean the book is essentially a how-to book. It's not a factual book.
Yeah.
Of course there are facts in there, but it's how do I go about this business of tasting? Where do I start? What do I do with the glass? What do I do with my nose? What do I do with my eyes, my palate? And having done that, where do I focus my attention? What's the vocabulary that I use, and how do I think about it? And that's the basis for it. Background knowledge, of course, is increasingly important. The more carefully you want to think about it, just as it is in any subject.
Okay.
You don't have to be a musician to be able to enjoy music. But if you are a musician or if you're interested in music, you can analyze it more, and you can get more, you can see more what to look for in more detail and so on.
Okay, so about nuance.
Yeah. A difference, I think I've got an epigraph at the beginning of the book, which I think is a nice one, by Pierre Poupon, and it sort of crystallizes the difference between tasting and drinking. And it's in French, it's il faut déguster à froid et boire à chaud. Taste with your head, drink with your heart. And that's sort of, that's it in a nutshell.
Very good.